Hideki Tojo. The name still echoes through history, a chilling reminder of the horrors of World War II. Tojo's image, with his sharp jawline and severe military bearing, became synonymous with Japanese aggression. He was nicknamed the Razor for his sharp mind and even sharper temper. Japan was a rising power, hungry for resources and recognition on the world stage. Tojo, a staunch nationalist, believed that military might was the only way to achieve Japan's destiny. He rose through the ranks of the army, his ambition and ruthlessness propelling him forward. He used his position to silence dissent and consolidate control. His vision for Japan was one of unquestioned dominance in Asia, achieved through military conquest. Tojo's path to power began in the strict and hierarchical world of the Japanese Imperial Army. From a young age, he displayed the discipline and ambition that would mark his career. He climbed the ranks steadily, serving in various command positions and gaining a reputation as a strict disciplinarian and a shrewd tactician. Tojo understood the shifting power dynamics in Japan. He aligned himself with the growing faction that saw military expansion as the solution to Japan's economic and political woes. Tojo's appointment as war minister in 1940 proved to be a pivotal moment. He now held the reins of Japan's military might. He used his position to further expand the army's influence, pushing for a more aggressive stance against the West. Amidst growing tensions with the United States, he was appointed prime minister in 1941. Tojo, the once ambitious soldier, was now the leader of a nation on the brink of war. Tojo's military thinking was shaped by his experiences and the prevailing doctrines of the Japanese Imperial Army. He was a firm believer in the concept of decisive battle, a single, overwhelming strike that would cripple the enemy and secure victory. He saw the United States as the primary obstacle to Japan's ambitions in Asia. However, Tojo also recognized America's industrial might and vast resources. His solution was a preemptive strike, a knockout blow that would shatter American morale and force them to negotiate from a position of weakness. Tojo's strategy relied heavily on Japan's strengths, its powerful navy, its experienced air force, and the Bushido spirit of its soldiers. This strategy, while bold, was also incredibly risky, a gamble that ultimately backfired with disastrous consequences. Section 4. Pearl Harbor and the Pacific War. A calculated gamble. On December 7, 1941, the world watched in horror as Japanese aircraft launched a surprise attack on Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. The attack, a pivotal moment in World War II, was a direct result of Tojo's calculations and his belief in a decisive strike. The attack, while achieving tactical surprise, failed to cripple the U.S. Pacific Fleet as intended. It also ignited a firestorm of American anger and resolve, ultimately drawing the United States into the war. Following Pearl Harbor, Japan's military machine under Tojo's direction swept across Southeast Asia. However, the tide began to turn with the Battle of Midway in June 1942. The decisive American victory marked the beginning of Japan's long and bloody retreat across the Pacific. Section 5. The Shadow of Tojo, Influence and Legacy. Tojo's influence on Japan during the war years was profound. His iron grip on power, coupled with his wartime propaganda machine, created an atmosphere of fervent nationalism and militarism. Dissent was ruthlessly crushed, and any opposition to the war effort was silenced. However, as Japan's military fortunes waned, so too did Tojo's grip on power. Facing increasing pressure from within his own government and the looming specter of defeat, Tojo resigned as prime minister in 1944. He is often vilified as the embodiment of Japanese aggression and brutality during World War II. His role in the Pearl Harbor attack and the atrocities committed by the Japanese military during the war cemented his image as a war criminal in the eyes of the world. Section 6. The Verdict of History, Tojo's Place in World War II. Following Japan's surrender in 1945, Tojo was arrested and tried by the International Military Tribunal for the Far East. He was found guilty of war crimes and crimes against humanity, including his role in the planning and execution of Japan's aggressive war in Asia. He was sentenced to death and hanged on December 23, 1948. Tojo's trial and execution marked the end of an era. He became a symbol of the devastating consequences of unchecked militarism and aggression. His legacy serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of nationalism, the seductive allure of power, and the devastating human cost of war.